And hello and welcome to today's video. We are doing Premier League predictions for match week number 21 of the 2023 to 24 season. It's been a little while since we've got our Premier League predictions out, so I thought I would, catch you guys up on the predictions the last few weeks and obviously predict the upcoming games for game week 21, which start with that Burnley-Luton game, which got rescheduled because of the game that Luton drew against Bolton. Embarrassing for them. Couldn't even beat Bolton at home in the FA Cup. And so that means that they have a replay against Bolton. Come on, Bolton, at Bolton. And so that means that they had to play the Friday game rather than the game on the Monday, as it was originally scheduled. And also, there are more replays for the likes of Wolves and Brentford. You've got Hull City and Birmingham. Quite a few draws in the FA Cup results. So quite interesting. All the FA Cup games are finished and before the replays are played. So Manchester United beating Wigan by 2-0. It was a bit of a kind of not great performance from Manchester United, I thought, but they were pretty dominant and Wigan struggled a little bit. But Wigan, to be fair to them, gave a very good account of themselves, and so fair play. Carabao Cup action also is tonight. Middlesbrough take on Chelsea. I think that's the first leg. So the semi-final, we'll see who gets through to the final. Will be very, very interesting. But yeah, ultimately then Liverpool play Fulham on Wednesday. And then we'll have to see who gets through to that final. Should be really exciting. We'll have to see. But anyway, what I will say is we'll get into these Premier League predictions. Firstly, smash a like on these videos. It really does, get appreciated, the amount of people that watch and predict in the comments as well. That is always much appreciated. Remember, the scoring system for this season's predictions is 3 points for the correct outcome. So if you went a 2-0 Liverpool win, then it ended up being a 4-1, then you'd still get the 3 points for the correct outcome if Liverpool won. And then, for instance, if you said a 2-2 draw and it was 1-1, well, that's a correct goal difference because it's 0. So therefore, you'd get yourself 5 points. And then for the correct scoreline, 7 points. So very, very good stuff there. Get your predictions for match week 21 in the comments, and I will, try and read them out in a future predictions video at some point. Probably around kind of February time. It's getting quite stacked with some of the games. Obviously, there's a midweek match week 22, so I'm not sure. I probably won't be able to get any content out for that. We'll have to see how we do in the end, but we'll have a think about it. If not, then yeah, future weeks there'll be some prediction videos you can get some predictions in for. But yeah, this should be a good one, and we're going to quickly talk about match week 21 by kind of looking back at our video last time. So Premier League predictions for match week 20 was the video last time. I know that I missed a few before that. We had match week 18 and 19, but I think there was a few weeks where we'd missed some. But yeah, in terms of those predictions, those in the comments. Thanks for the advice from FPL. Sorry, not FPL, Mr. Footballer Loons. But it is just what it is. I'm a busy man. But Ballum's predictions. Thanks again, Ballum, for your predictions. Let's see if you can predict the right week this week. After, I think it was, game week 18? And the 19 video, you just predicted game week 19. But, each to their own. But yeah, some good predictions in from the game week 20 fixtures. So you went for a 1-0 Luton win. You did say the Raheem Sterling chance against Wolves was a sitter, wasn't it? Yeah, he should have passed anyway to Cole Palmer or Jackson. But ultimately, yeah, it was a 1-0 prediction. You said it ended up being a 3-2 Chelsea win. So no points for you there, Ballum. But a great win for Chelsea. Cole Palmer, absolutely on fire. I should say on fire, but cold Palmer is the better way to say it, because the way he just took that ball past Kaminsky, lovely ball roll and a composed finish, just sat down the Luton defender, and absolutely wonderful, wonderful play from Palmer, and a great game, 2 goals. Luton just causing their own problems defensively. I mean, what was Kabore doing for the first one? I don't know, but Chelsea got the win, and they go into this game against Fulham, who, to be fair, have beaten Arsenal recently, but I just never quite know what to make of Fulham. So I would have fancied Chelsea at Stamford Bridge here, but you went for a Luton game win, so that's nothing there. Next up, we had Aston Villa Burnley. You went through another of your stupid 10-0s. Honestly, mate, you're not going to get them. Just don't predict it. Just predict a 1-0 or a 2-0. But anyway, he went for a 10-0 Aston Villa. And so, yeah, fair enough. Aston Villa did win in the end, but only just. I think it was 3-2. So, important result, but 3 points for you there. Then you went for a 1-0 Palace against Brentford. It was, in fact, a Crystal Palace win. 3-1 was the score, so 3 points again for you. Good win for Palace. And Eberechi Eze doing well. Of course, Michael Elise getting a brace, but now out injured. Obviously missed the FA Cup game against Everton, so that's a real blow for Crystal Palace. We know how important Elise is, but either one of Eze or Elise just get injured all the time. It's crazy. So yeah, well done. Another 3 points. So that's 6 points from the first 3 games. And then you said another 10-0. All right, this one I can kind of let you off for because it's Man City against Sheffield United. If there was ever a game this season where that would have come true, maybe that game. But still, pretty bonkers. It ended up being a Man City win, just 2-0 though, with Julian Alvarez and a first, I say first goal. The Alvarez goal was, well finished. Also in that game, a nice strike. Actually, it was a first goal of the season in the Premier League at home for Rodri. So he scored in both games against Sheffield United in the Premier League this season. So they're probably sick of the sight of him. But yeah, a good win for Man City. But Sheffield United, to be fair to them, kept it respectable and, didn't really test the Man City defence. But it was still, in a kind of Sheffield United way, a spirited performance. So yeah, another 3 points for you there. So you're on to 9. Then you said a Wolves-Everton 0-0. I can tell you that was, in fact, a very, very important win for Wolves. And a very big win at that. 3-0. Hwang Hee-chan with a nice little assist in the end. Cunha getting another goal. You had Kilman scoring, Dawson scoring. So it was a good day for the centre-backs. But yeah, good result for Wolves. They absolutely obliterated that Everton defence, who the last few weeks have actually been a bit better defensively, but maybe confidence has taken a bit of a knock there. And obviously Everton 0-0 in the Cup against Palace, and then Dominic Calvert-Lewin, very, very harsh red card. I mean, VAR, the game is gone. The game's gone soft, and how that's a red card, I'll never quite know. So they might win that appeal, but still, not ideal to have an extra fixture to play with a replay there at Goodison Park. Or it will be at least. Then we had Forest against Manchester United, and you said a 0-0 draw. So still remaining on those 9 points so far, because yeah, no points for that prediction. A good win for Forest, 2-1 on the day. Gibbs White with a really nice strike, and before that it was a nice header, to be honest, from Dominguez. So yeah, look, at the end of the day, I say header. It wasn't a header. It was just a normal finish, side-footed finish. I'm thinking of Dominguez's goal in the Cup against Blackpool. But yeah, the point is, Forest looking quite good, to be fair. Or maybe just Manchester United looking not very good. But yeah, good win for them against Man United. The first time they've beaten Man United at the City Ground. So fair play. Then Fulham-Arsenal. You went for a 1-0 Fulham. Fair play. 2-1 Fulham in the end. A bit of a shock result that. Arsenal on a bit of a slump in the league. That's now 3 defeats on the spin against Fulham, Arsenal, and of course the game. Well, to be fair, I say that. Look, at the end of the day, they lost to Fulham. They lost to Arsenal. It's 3 defeats with the cup game included, but still not good for Arsenal. You thought they would react from that West Ham performance, but no. So now they go into an interesting game against Crystal Palace where you'd probably fancy Arsenal to score some goals, but the way Arsenal are going, you just don't quite know what to expect. But yeah, good win for Fulham. Raul Jimenez with a nice goal, coming back from his suspension, and also a nice kind of close range one from Bobby Decordova-Reid, and he scored in the FA Cup as well in their game against Rotherham. So yeah, good win for Fulham, but no points I'm afraid for you, Ballum, so still on the 9 points. Then you said 1-0 Spurs against Bournemouth. Now that was a bit of a kind of solid prediction. It ended up being 3-1 to Tottenham, so 3 points again, up to 12. Now Bournemouth actually made a really good go of it, I have to say. Sorry, I was going to say Fulham. That was correct goal difference. I should point that out. You said a 1-0, it was 2-1. So that actually is 5 points. So I stand corrected, or I should be corrected, basically, is what I'm getting at. Instead of being, you were on the 9 points, but instead of being on 12 after the Fulham, it should be actually on 14, so apologies for that. But yes, what I will say is, I mean, I look at it and think, hang on, is that right? 9 points plus 5? Yeah, there you go. This game against Bournemouth for Spurs was winnable, but Bournemouth actually played quite well, I thought. Certainly in the kind of latter stages of the second half. They got a goal back through Alex Scott, the last goal scored in the Premier League for 2023. And a good finish for the young fullback. But ultimately, Spurs pretty confidently winning that. Son with another goal. Richarlison with another goal. He's in some great form right now. And also a strike there for Pape Sarr, who obviously, was injured, but I think he's now off to AFCON, so that's interesting. So yeah, at the end of the day, good win for Spurs, but just the 3 points for you there. So nice stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that's up to 17. I wasn't going mad. Then it's West Ham Brighton. You went for a 1-0 Brighton win at the London Stadium. It was in fact 0-0. So yeah, it was a low scoring one as you predicted, but nothing for Brighton there. Great result for that person that has Areola in their fantasy team because he got 11 points. But no, going back to normal football, a really stubborn performance there from Brighton defensively. Their first clean sheet of the season. It was a long time coming, but West Ham just not looking the same without Paqueta kind of pulling the strings. Well, I say that mainly Kudus in that game, but then obviously Paqueta then getting injured and then looking like a doubt. Obviously, then Bowen gets injured against Bristol City. So it's not looking good, Brev. It's not looking good for West Ham at the moment. And yeah, so it was no points for you there. And then you said a 4-3 Liverpool win. It was, in fact, 4-2. So very unlucky with that prediction. That could have well been perfect. But yeah, 4-2 Liverpool win. Great game, it has to be said. What a way to kick off 2024. And yeah, 4 goals for Liverpool was bang on the money, but just the 3 points, I'm afraid, for you there. Look, Newcastle gave a lot, and they got their goals through Isak, and of course, the other goal from Botman. Or was it 4-3? Hang on. Was it 4-2 or 4-3? I'm pretty sure it was 4-2. I should trust my gut more often, shouldn't I? I'm pretty sure it was. Bear with a sec. No, it was 4-2. Yeah. So, yeah, look, unlucky there, but still, 3 points. Solid stuff indeed. So that's finishing on 20 points for match week number 20. That's quite neat. Meanwhile, any other predictions in the comments? I'm just having a little look. I think that's everyone. So, apologies if I've missed anyone. No, I think that's it. So, yeah, it is what it is. Let's go on to match week number 21, shall we? Now, first up, we've got Burnley-Luton. Now, Burnley-Luton, I think this could be a dead game. I can't lie. I mean, it's on TNT Sports, but I mean, it was an interesting game in the reverse fixture. Obviously, a 2-1 Burnley win. Luton thought they'd grabbed a point at the end, but then conceded late on to an absolute banger from Jakob Brun-Larsen. Meanwhile, for Burnley, a goal from Lyle Foster, who obviously scored in the game up at Villa recently. And, you also had a goal for Luton there from the man, the myth, the legend, that is Burke. Who'd have thought it? Or at least, was it Burke? Or maybe he got the assist. I can't quite remember. No, it wasn't Burke. It was Adebayo. So yeah, look, at the end of the day, it was an interesting win that Burnley. It kind of kicked off their season. But since then, they've lost a lot of games. They've struggled to score that many goals. I mean, Foster's been good. Obviously, Rodriguez chipped in for a bit. I don't know. Luton are looking quite dangerous at the moment, and I'm a bit worried by it. But I think it'll be a draw. I'm going to go Burnley 1, Luton 1. And goal scorers here, I think Alfie Doughty will score for Luton because he's in some good form, to be fair to the lad. And then other goal scorer in this one for Burnley, I think it will be Mr. Yes, I'm going for it because why not? A goal from Odder Bear. Now, it's Chelsea versus Fulham. This game, I feel, is a Chelsea win because although Fulham beat Arsenal, Chelsea simply have to look, confident in this game because they played some scintillating attacking football in the Chelsea game against Luton. Tore them to shreds. Cole Palmer on top of his game. Now, in the game against obviously a weakened side in Preston, you would imagine they would have blitzed them, and they did. A nice goal from Raheem Sterling's free kick, and also Enzo Fernandez got a goal. So, it is what it is. Enzo, that's an important goal for him. Obviously, he had that miss, Fernandez, earlier on in the season. So, look, Enzo Fernandez, good midfielder. The likes of, Pau, I should say. No, what I was going to say was Levi, not Pau. Levi Colwill, impressive at the back as well. I think Chelsea can win this, but I don't think they'll get a clean sheet. I'll say Chelsea 3, Fulham 1. And goal scorers for Fulham, I think it will be Raul Jimenez to score again. He's just on fire at the moment. Chelsea goal scorers will say Cole Palmer to get a brace here. And then the third goal for Chelsea, let's go for a little bit of Levi Colwill. Now, it's Newcastle United versus Manchester City on the 5:30 kickoff. It should be an exciting one. Now, Man City, obviously, they've been scoring goal after goal recently, but Erling Haaland, will he be fit to play this game at St James's Park? It's a bit of a doubt. Now, Kevin De Bruyne, good to see him back after the FA Cup game, coming off the bench against Huddersfield and getting an assist immediately. Jeremy Doku is also back for Man City, and of course, they've got, array of talent. Phil Foden's in fantastic form, but will he be able to keep it up? I think Newcastle will give this a good go, though. And I'll say Newcastle United 1, Manchester City 2. And goal scorers for Man City, I think first one for the Citizens will come from Mr. Julian Alvarez. The second Manchester City goal, though, is going to be Mr. Rodri. But the first Newcastle goal scorer, to get them on their way, Anthony Gordon. Now, it's next up a game between Everton and Aston Villa on Sunday on Sky Sports, and it's live. Now, I think Everton will actually do quite well here because Villa have been good recently, but Everton at Goodison Park seem to just play quite well. I don't know what it is, but I'll say Everton 1, Aston Villa 1. I think they'll do well to hold them to a point. And goal scorers here, I think Watkins will get a goal. And will play really, really well. And then for Everton, I think they will get a goal through midfield maestro. He's the one you always want to see on the end of things. It's Mr. Abdoulaye Doucouré. Oh. Now, next up, it's Manchester United versus Tottenham. Great game on the kind of entertainment level because both these sides defensively are not exactly good. But also they can score goals from going forward. Obviously, the likes of Højlund has really struggled in a Manchester United shirt. Rashford has not been himself. Looked a bit better against Wigan, I'll admit, but still didn't get the goal that he needs to kind of get back in form. And, Garnacho didn't look great. I just think they haven't got a lot of goals in them at the moment, Manchester United. But Spurs certainly do. And even though Son Heung-min is going to be at the Asia Cup, and that's going to be a massive loss for Tottenham, they've still got players who can step up to the plate, the likes of Richarlison. So I think Spurs win this one, to be honest. They just have too much firepower, even with Son not there. Manchester United 1, Tottenham Hotspur 3. I think Spurs goal scorers, Pedro Porro, then a goal for Manchester United. I think will come from McTominay. And then the other goals in the game will say a brace from Richarlison. Now, it's up next. It's going to be, Arsenal Palace. Yes, now, Arsenal Palace. How do I feel this is going to pan out? Well, Arsenal, the way they're going, could lose this. But, no, to be honest, when they're at the Emirates, I have more confidence that they'll be better. Now, Palace, their recent form has not been great, and they've got Elise out injured. Eze obviously scored in the win at against Brentford, and so he's going to be crucial for them. But I still feel that Palace, they just don't have enough firepower. So I'll say Arsenal 2, Crystal Palace 0. And goal scorers for Arsenal, I think the first goal, Gabriel Martinelli. And then the second strike for Arsenal will be a bullet header from Gabriel Magalhaes. Next up, it's a game between Brentford and Nottingham Forest. Now, Brentford really, this season, have been quite shoddy defensively. And also their form has not been good. So now Ivan Toney is back after his long ban due to his betting problems. So that's a massive boost for Brentford to have him back for this game. Will he score and silence his critics? Well, it's possible, because Nottingham Forest this season have been quite poor defensively, with Matt Turner in goal, just conceding in every game, it feels like. So I think maybe Brentford put a few past Forest here, but they did look really good, Forest, against Newcastle and against Manchester United. However, I think that was just a one-off. So I'll say Brentford to win this one. Brentford 2, Nottingham Forest 1. And Forest goal scorer, I think, will be yet again Chris Wood. But Brentford's goals come from, firstly, Ethan Pinnock. And the second goal for Brentford, yes, you know it, it's Ivan Toney. Now, next up, on the Sunday, 21st of January, it's Sheffield United versus West Ham. A walking wounded West Ham United, because without Jarrod Bowen, without Mohamed Kudus, and without the injured Paqueta, it's going to be a really tough one for the Hammers. Now, I know it's Sheffield United, and that's a winnable game anyway, but if they have a front three of Ben Rama, who even could move this January window, Ings, who's been so poor in a West Ham shirt, and then finally, you know, someone like, I don't know, who's going to be that third slot? Is it going to be Mubama? Is it going to be Ward-Prowse, Souček? I just do not know at this point. So it's going to be a really, really tough one for West Ham. But what I will say is Sheffield United have still been bad enough defensively for West Ham to win this game. So I'll say Sheffield United 0, West Ham United 1. And the only goal for West Ham for this game, I think, will be from Mr. Kurt Zouma. Next up, it's Bournemouth versus Liverpool. Big game this really for Liverpool, because they are sitting pretty at the top of the league and they are into another kind of round of the cup with FA Cup, that big win over Arsenal. They're through to the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, facing Fulham in midweek. So yeah, it's a huge time for Liverpool at the moment, and they'll want to carry that on. But without Mohamed Salah, it's not going to be as easy. And obviously Trent Alexander-Arnold just got injured as well. He's going to be out for a few weeks, so that's a real blow for them. But I still feel they'll have enough goals to get past Bournemouth. So I'll say Bournemouth 1, Liverpool 2. Bournemouth score through Dominic Solanke against his former side, of course. And Liverpool goal scorers will go for, firstly, let's say, Ibrahim Konate. And then we'll go for a goal from their midfielder that really doesn't get enough goals, but I think this is his time. It's Alexis McAllister. Now, next up, we've got Brighton against Wolves to round off Matchweek 21. And Brighton, the way they're going, they definitely do feel that they can kind of score in every game, but they also haven't been keeping many clean sheets, have they? So they've got their first clean sheet this season against West Ham in the last match week. Now they face a Wolves side without Hwang Hee-chan. I think Brighton can finally get their first clean sheet at home this season, because I think Cunha might struggle without Hwang, and I think Wolves, you know, they're just not as kind of offensively clinical as they used to be, with, you know, likes of Jimenez in their team and Neves, that is sort of player. So I think Brighton will win this one, and I'll say Brighton and Hove Albion 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. Goal scorers here, Purvis Estupiñán, who's got a couple of bangers recently against Tottenham and against Stoke. I think he'll score again. Then the second Brighton goal will go for a little bit of Pascal Gross. Okay, those are my predictions for match week number 21 of the Premier League. Get yours in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye, everyone.